Welcome to Crossroad Connection. We're speaking out for those left unheard. My name is David Schuringa. I'm the president of Crossroad Bible Institute and the host of your program. I have in the studio with me today Megan Meyer. And Megan is here for a regular feature that we have about once a month,
Yep.
Letters from Prison.
Right.
So welcome, Megan.
Thank you.
And you brought some letters along.
I did.
And what's the subject this time?
Well, as we know, prison can be dehumanizing. Our students talk about it in their letters. They often reference, and we know that the effects of incarceration can be great. But the instructors help them realize that they recognize the image of God in them and treat them as individuals. And I started seeing a lot of quotes from students in certain letters and testimonies kind of pertaining to that. So I thought I'd just share a couple today.
So the letters will show us the dehumanizing experience that prison can be, and how we seek to humanize it.
Yeah.
With the way that we deal with people in prison. Let's go to that first letter. I have some thoughts I want to share on that. But
The first one is just a quote, and it's actually the first one that I came across that made me want to seek out more of these from students and kind of base this program on it. It's from John in California. He writes, "The personal feedback I receive from my instructor helps me recognize my humanity in this place that is often inhumane."
So the feedback that he gets from the instructor,
the relationship
helps them to feel human.
Yeah.
That may be hard for our viewers to understand, that prison can be dehumanizing. It has to do with a lot of things, doesn't it? It has, the whole prison experience actually is intended to be dehumanizing, in order to be intimidating, and to keep control, of the crowd. Let's have another one.
Okay. This is from Jeremy in Texas. "CBI and my instructor makes me feel like a real person because I'm able to ask questions and make prayer requests. This is the only Bible study that does that. I don't get mail, so I never have something to look forward to when I do my Bible studies. I hope this never ends."
Well, that's precisely what the CBI program is about, to be humanizing. That's why we insist upon the writing of letters with each lesson. Sometimes people don't quite get that, and they'll say, well, it's about Bible study. Why do they have to have a letter? But the letter,
very important part of it.
That's what I call the Word becomes flesh, and dwells among us. And they have to have that in order to have more than a Bible study.
Right.
They need to have that discipleship relationship, huh?
Yeah, and sometimes that's their only relationship,
That's what that letter had said.
Yeah.
They don't get any
from
mail,
anybody else.
and they don't get that from other kinds of Bible study either. They have that personal back and forth.
Right.
See, the whole idea of the modern prison industry actually started in the Enlightenment. Do you remember the Enlightenment from your college philosophy days?
Kind of.
Rene Descartes. Do you remember? You ever
I
heard about
remember.
him? He was a 17th century philosopher who became famous for the phrase, "I think, therefore I am," and that became the basis for the Enlightenment. And so the idea of the Enlightenment on prison time was that if we put a person in prison long enough, he'll be able to think about what he did. I think, therefore I am. Reason is the ultimate savior of mankind. Then if he thinks about it long enough, he'll get better automatically. So prison and the extreme form of that, solitary confinement, is so that people have time to think about what they did. It actually drives them crazy.
Right.
And so prison is intended to be a dehumanizing thing, stripping the emotion out of life, the personal relationships, and have them just think about what they did. But the problem is, of course, as AA talks about, the reason they're in prison is because of stinking thinking, and only from Romans 12 talks about we need a renewing
Yeah.
of the mind, and that brings in the personal Bible study.
Right, in the relationship.
Let's have another one.
Okay.
Then I'll give you more lectures on the Enlightenment.
Okay, sounds good. This is from Brian in Indiana. God bless all of the instructors who take their own time to help someone like me in my situation. Most people could care less and have the attitude that we are getting what we deserve. It's nice to be treated like a human being by someone else, if only through the mail.
Don't you think that when they talk about being treated as a human being, they're talking about the fact that we show them respect?
Yes.
That's one of the questions we have, isn't it, on our evaluation form for the instructors. We ask the students, did the instructors always treat you with respect? And the answer is always yes.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't get respect from other prisoners or from the staff.
No.
And that's part of that dehumanizing thing.
They're a number.
And, I don't know if it's true, but books say that, like in marriage, women need to be loved, but men need, first of all, to have respect. Because if they don't get respect, they'll go somewhere where they can find respect.
Oh, geez.
Well, since a lot of males are in prison, that respect thing, I think, is a big part of their humanizing and, feeling that respect.
Right.
You have another one yet?
Yep, sure do. This is from Joseph in Texas. It really helps me to know that people really do care for all of us who are incarcerated. Everyone looks at us as monsters and losers, but not all of us are. We just made bad choices in our lives. Some of us are actually innocent and trying to fight our cases. Your support really helps. I'm going to read one more, too, from Maurice in California. I love that my instructors are so understanding. They don't judge me. I am a human being, and I really love that.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's we get these letters all the time.
I know.
Where they said people think of us as monsters.
Yeah.
And that's why we really stress at Crossroad to have a people-first language.
Right.
We like to talk about people who are in prison rather than prisoners.
Right.
And we talk about returning citizens rather than ex-convicts.
Yeah.
Because they should not be, it's dehumanizing to be labeled by a past mistake and never be able to get beyond that.
Right.
Even the issues of having a box on the employment application, have you ever been incarcerated? That's dehumanizing. It's holding up a past mistake.
How can they ever move on?
And it's disrespectful. That'd be a little bit like if there was something on there, have you ever had a speeding ticket? It's just like, well, that's kind of irrelevant now, maybe, 10 years ago or something, right? So this whole matter of treating people with respect and being treated like a human being, that's what the recurring theme is, that they said it feels like they are being treated with respect. Can you think of other things that our instructors do so that they feel human?
I guess, give them prayer requests for them, make them feel like they're doing something for their instructor too.
That's right. So it's so that it's a
mutual
relationship.
Yeah.
Very good. Because we emphasize that with the instructors, not to treat them as if they're below them.
Right.
And we're helping out these poor people
Right.
in prison, but to treat them as equal image bearers
Mutual
of God.
respect, yeah.
Mutual respect, and then you're going to feel human. If you're being asked for prayer and they value the people in prison praying for them, they can sense that, and
Right.
they feel like an equal partner
Yep.
in the relationship.
That's huge.
Well, these have been fantastic letters,
Good, yeah.
an extremely important subject. Because we realize that our instructors may be the only person in their life who treats them with respect, who treats them like a human being, who treats them like a fellow image bearer of God. And we certainly know that the context in which they're in is definitely dehumanizing. And so we want to be that ray of hope, that ray of light in their life, a light of humaneness, really treating them as a child of God, which we believe they certainly are. So thank you very much for bringing those terrific letters, and
Thanks.
we'll see you back here next month sometime,
Sounds good.
maybe, huh?
Well,
And we hope to see you again here next week, right here on CBI.TV. My name is David Schuringa, and this has been another edition of Crossroad Connection. Thanks for being here.